I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show. You could reach us. It's 9:02 in the morning. You can reach. I was up late watching Villanova playing basketball. I really enjoyed last night watching the game. It was a little past 11:30. Villanova, the national champions, two out of 3 years here. So 706-889-9700, 706-889-9700, chief@fetchernews.com. Email us, good morning from the office. Also follow us on Twitter, @FetcherNews, @FYNTV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, FYNTV, Fetcher News, and you'll always get notifications when we're doing a live broadcast or we upload a new video. Now, we have a lot of interviews that you can go. I will say this. I told you earlier in the show, if you're just tuning in for our 9 o'clock hour, just let me recap. We post everything. And our goal here has always been to get you, the voters, the most information. And that's it, okay? We just keep talking to the candidates and get them to talk, and you can come back and hopefully you can make your decision on who you want to vote for. The campaigns are in high gear, meaning we will have an interview or possibly 3 a day here, okay? We will be the leading place. We may not be in Atlanta, and we may not be in one of the major markets, and we may be in one of those markets. I feel like Sinclair Media for a minute, right here, Amanda. We may be in one of those markets, but we reach the international audience and statewide audience, and we plan to bring the most information for voters, even on the governor level. So let me tell you a little bit of what we're doing, okay? My goal, I figured I should answer some questions now. Our company rule, and let me say it like this. I've always been a believer that if you pay your money, okay? If you pay your money and you get your name on the ballot, it is our job at FetcherNews.com to let the voters know that you're a candidate. It's our job. Period. I think the voters should know every candidate option they have. And I thought about this because some media debates or interviews are based on a percentage of polling data. And remember when there were so many candidates on the Republican stage, there was discussion that a candidate had to be polling 1.5% or whatever, 2% or 4% or something. A candidate had to be polling a certain percent for the networks to accept that candidate, whether they're qualified or not and paid their money to the party to be on the stage for a debate. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I think his name's Eddie Hayes. I got to double check, okay? I don't want to do it wrong. I do think his name's Eddie Hayes, and I know it's Mark Erbach. They are candidates that qualified to be on the ballot for you to vote for governor in the Republican primary. I will invite them for one-time interview. One time. They're not polling at 1% that I'm aware of. They're, haven't even reached the meter of cracking 0.5% if I'm realistically. But I thought to myself, it's wrong if I don't give them an interview. So I'm going to invite them to be on the show for about 15 minutes. Second, I'm also going to highlight candidates that do not interview with the show because they are not avoiding me. They are not avoiding Amanda. They are not avoiding FYNTV or Fetcher News. They are avoiding you, the voter. So if they do not take us up on an interview, okay, or multiple interviews, whenever we ask, It's you, the voters, that they are not speaking to. All right? The other thing I want to bring up is I am going to offer the Republican candidates for governor an opportunity to debate. All right? And what I mean by this, when I say it, so hold on, because I'm looking at a real debate, okay? Not one-liners. Not one candidate getting to throw out a one-liner and the other candidate, a candidate that's being attacked doesn't get the correct opportunity or the subject. Nobody corrects the subject. And I see this all the time in forums. On the 9th Congressional District, they did a great job. Great job. The staff did a great job. It was a very good forum. I actually got some very good information from the forum. Outstanding. But just going back down the road, in the 9th Congressional District, when the primary last time, we here at FYN TV were the only ones who actually held what I call a real debate between Congressman Doug Collins, former Congressman Paul Brown, Mike Scupine, Roger Fitzpatrick, and the general, who was Bernie Fontaine, okay? There was 5 candidates, if I remember. We're the only one that held a real debate. Okay, you can go back and watch that. When a candidate attacks another candidate, and then the candidate that's being attacked gets 30 seconds to respond, nobody ever comes up and says, hey, did the subject that this one attacked this one and this one answer? Nobody ever says what truth came out of that. So, if they will, I would like to have Casey Cagle, Brian Kemp. I'd like to have Casey Cagle, Brian Kemp, Hunter Hill, Michael Williams, and Clay Tippins together. I would not invite, sounds like a birthday party, I would not invite Mark Erbach or Mr. Hayes to that debate. And don't take that wrong. So, we have Hunter Hill yesterday, Michael Williams, and Brian Kemp. We have been in contact with the Cagle campaign. They said they have a very busy schedule. They're seeing what they can do. And he has been on at one time before. We're trying to get him on now. And we'll try to get Clay Tippins on. We'll try to get with his campaign today. I have not reached out, not for any reason, yesterday to his campaign. So, moving right along. Also, one more thing. Amanda, I know I'm getting long-winded here, but if you have candidates out there, please don't just tell your friends. Say, I'm wondering about this candidate for Secretary of State. I'm wondering about this candidate for Lieutenant Governor. Okay? I'm wondering. All right? Then let me know. Send a question. Don't just look at 706-889-9700. Don't just look at chief@fetchernews.com. Send me a question for these candidates. Let me research it. Okay? Let's find the information and the answers you want so you can decide who to vote for. Yesterday, I reached out to Matt Gutler. Matt Gutler is the representative in the 8th District, House Seat 8, Georgia House Seat 8. There you go. I'll get it correct in a minute. And I reached out to him yesterday. He is working on some things this week, but said he would be glad to interview as soon as he can get his schedule around to it. So I'm in communication with him. I'm going to be reaching out to his opponent. Yesterday, I reached out to Margaret Williamson. She is opposing Speaker Ralston for the 7th District here, and we will continue to bring commissioners, Board of Education members in the local area as fast as we can so you can meet them, see who they are to make your decision. All right, now, David Hogg, let's do this real quick. Yesterday, okay, this You know, the thing with Sinclair Media, okay, timing, I know DACA. I understand. Well, you're not talking about DACA, and the president said DACA this and DACA that, and I think he said hickory dickory DACA. I understand that. I don't want to get caught in that sensationalized story at this time. No disrespect, Mr. President. But yesterday, the media put together a montage, and they're going nuts over Sinclair Media Group, all right? And they have 173 stations in 81 broadcast markets that stretch from coast to coast. Now, the problem that they're finding is that these local news networks are trusted by 77% of families and people in their viewing area. 77%. And we played a couple of those early on, and CNN, obviously, MSNBC, they're going nuts because for no other reason they've been caught. So let's listen to CNN before we get into David Hogg, all right? Before we get into David Hogg and Laura Ingraham and the Town Hall for Our Lives. Is that what it is, Amanda, I brought up yesterday? Is it Town Hall for Our Lives that they've organized? Okay, folks, do not look at a media group and how they're organized and their information to local rural communities in this country and not pay attention to the organization of Town Halls for Our Lives, March for Our Lives, Attack the NRA, and no one on a Sunday morning show or a Good Morning America show will bring up the failure of the entire system, that happened in Broward County, Florida. Instead, it's just a gun. So let's play the CNN montage yesterday of how nuts they went over Sinclair Media Group and what has taken place. Play that video.
Attention around Sinclair Broadcasting and its conservative bent. This is a company that owns stations all across the country. And last month I reported that the company was mandating its local stations to produce these media-bashing promos. There's been a lot of angst in local newsrooms about this. Now we're actually seeing the promos, so I want to show you what they look like. This is a compilation courtesy of Deadspin that's gone viral this weekend. Just a little taste of what these promos look like.
The sharing of biased and false news
has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think, and this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
I think you get the idea there, what's going on. All these anchors and all these markets are required to read this script. It's attacking fake news, but really what it's doing, it's kind of like the Fox Fair and Balanced slogan. It's a way of saying, we're fair, everybody else is biased. It's taking a page out of Trump's playbook. And I've been talking to staffers in markets, David, that say they're sickened by this, they're uncomfortable with it. Quote, my staff is up in arms about this. Zerwick, you're in Baltimore. Sinclair's based right up the road. What's your impression?
Brian, I've been reporting this story, as you know, since last summer. And you know, my first concern was when they hired Boris Epstein from the Trump White House and made him the chief political analyst, made him a political analyst, and stations were dictated to carry his, what I think of as talking points almost out of the Trump White House. There's a lot of pushback. Look, I think reporters and anchors, especially when you centralize a message, and this is what's important, Brian, if you are centralizing a political message to however many, more than 200 stations, I think it'll be if they get the FCC approval for this, to 200 stations. You have one of the great political messaging machines in the world. And especially, it's the local people, the people you see at the supermarket in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or your hometown in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, who are delivering these messages. They're not people from New York or Washington who you can dismiss. Much more powerful. I think Sinclair has the potential for that, and I think in some ways people react to that when they see this. Look, this thing by Deadspin is a really clever piece of editing, but it powerfully states what people have been saying about the danger of centralized messaging if a broadcaster decides it wants to send out political messages that way.
Okay, danger of centralized messaging. Now, I for one, I just want to use this as a little disclaimer. I, for one, would be concerned, okay? I, for one, could be concerned that, Amanda, you pay attention to this because I want you to take this away today, all right? I, for one, am concerned when a media group has amassed a certain amount of power to dictate direction in this country. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. We have put things in place before that do not allow certain media groups to merge, combine, buying local news organizations to direct a message, okay? So I, for one, am concerned. It's interesting that CNN has those concerns also at this time. When I would say the majority of every airport in the United States on every TV this morning has CNN. I would be concerned with that, okay? I would also have the same concerns that the majority, yes, you may argue, even in rural America, the majority of your schools get their free TVs and media equipment from CNN, but the requirement is they have to watch CNN in the classroom and the TVs have to be tuned in to CNN. So the airports, the schools, the grounds for manipulating the message, CNN's okay with that. CNN is okay with making deals with your schools all over the United States and rural America to train your children, to train Emma Gonzalez, to train David Hogg, okay? Now you think about this. Now listen to me close. You want to talk about some local newscasters, okay, that read a message about concerns for our democracy and how dangerous some of these manipulated stories, basically from me, from CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, the left, the everything is a concern. But you know what? Who can move the message nationally? Who moved? Wait a minute, I want to ask you a question. Who moved the message, March for Our Lives? Who moved it? A little rinky-dink station in upstate New York? A little small station in, somewhere Iowa? A little tiny station in South Georgia? Who moved the message? March for Our Lives, walk out of school. Who moved the message to where even in rural America like Gilmer County, okay, Georgia, Fannin County, who moved the message to cause children in rural counties to walk out of school? CNN? Did CNN put the propaganda machine together with all of these students that planned the day? Did they promote this? Did they hype this? Did they participate in this? Did Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, did they? And you're concerned with Sinclair Media Group? Really? Why? Because they're in rural America, basically? Why? Rural America voted for Donald Trump? Why? Maybe they are getting the whole message out? Maybe that's the one area that you have to attack because they're trusted and it never could happen again. I'm going to take a brief break. We'll come back and we'll follow this. Laura Ingraham, if you don't think you're under attack, if you don't think that we are under attack, bringing you information on a daily basis that we do not allow CNN and MSNBC and the talking points from the deep state to control. All right, that's where we're at. Take us a little break here, Amanda. We'll come back and try to get the show wrapped up. I got a couple more things I want to do today.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, brand name merchandise at unbelievably low prices. Furniture, appliances, and electronics. Circuit World is locally owned and operated, serving the tri-state area. Circuit World has highly trained professionals to help. Visit your hometown Circuit World today. 3 locations in Georgia, LJ, Blue Ridge, and Blairsville, Franklin, and Murphy, North Carolina. No credit checks, so let Circuit World deliver to you today.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on-site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Medium Pizza Hut pizzas, just $5.99 each.
Did they say Pizza Hut?
For $5.99?
Yes, and yes.
Yes! Introducing the deal you want on the pizza you crave. 2 medium pizzas, just $5.99 each. No one out pizzas the hut.
2.
And we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Sometimes I like to go to Twitter and check out the president's Twitter feed to not. Sometimes I want to report immediately on breaking news on Twitter for the president, and then sometimes I get the thought of what I'd like is to see if the president agrees with me today. You know what I mean, Amanda? I don't know if you know. Anyhow, so that being said, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, 2 hours ago, the President of the United States tweeted out, the fake news networks, those knowingly have a sick and biased agenda. We've known it our whole lives. Our whole lives we've known that they have a biased agenda, are worried about the competition and quality of Sinclair broadcasts. The fakers at CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS have done so much dishonest reporting that they should only be allowed to get awards for fiction. I'm sorry, I must agree. I've been watching these people. Why do you think on Sunday morning I watch all of the shows? I do not watch State of the Union on CNN, but I watch all of the shows. And in fact, newsflash here, this past Sunday I did not. I just watched something else. I found something else. I said, I will not on Easter Sunday watch one news show. Not one. I watch because, you know, no, they were not going to get my time Sunday. But I watch all of them just so I know where the deep state and the corruption is going, what direction they're moving in. Okay, 2 hours ago. Then right after that, the big caravan, which we've all heard about, of people from Honduras now coming across Mexico and headed for our weak law's border had better be stopped before it gets there. Cash cow NAFTA is in play, as is foreign aid to Honduras and countries that allow this to happen. Congress must act now. There's a caravan of thousands moving across Mexico headed towards our border. Okay? Here's another tweet 2 hours ago. President a little busy. Check out the fact that we can't get a job at ratings challenged CNN. Wait a minute. Check out the fact that you can't get a job at ratings challenged CNN unless you state that you are totally anti-Trump. Little Jeff Zucker, whose job is in jeopardy, is not having much fun lately. They should clean up and strengthen CNN and get back to honest reporting, okay? You have to be against Donald Trump to get the job. And 2 hours ago, thank you to Rasmussen for the honest polling. Just hit 50%, which is higher than cheating Obama at the same time in his administration. A friend of mine the other day asked me if I agreed with all of the tweeting the president does on a daily basis, and I say yes. Keep tweeting. Spin their heads off. The left do not know what to do. Okay? So, before I get into my next subject, schools, Oklahoma and Kentucky, Amanda, do you have something for us this morning you want to discuss?
I've got one quick thing here. You know, last week, or actually the past month, really, we've been talking about Facebook's data crisis.
Yes.
And how they'll sell data. Well, I'm scrolling through, and there's like a kind of off the chain news source that has a meme put up yesterday, and it caught my eye, but I tried it. And so I'll read it, and it says, so apparently Facebook has labeled you as either very liberal, moderate, conservative, or very conservative. And it gives you instructions to view what you are. You can go to your settings and then go to your account settings, your ads, your information, your categories, and then to US politics. So, you know, I've never even heard of this. And so I go to it, and I am labeled very conservative.
Whoa, stop the presses, stop the presses. Are you telling me this is true and accurate that Facebook is putting people into categories and you actually check this? That's from your Facebook page?
This is from my Facebook account. Okay.
So wait a minute, whoa, stop. When I say stop, just stop a second. So you read that Facebook is doing this?
Yes.
Stop. So you went, and I want to get this correct because I don't want to get attacked by CNN as being fake news.
Right.
Okay. I don't want to fall into the fake news that's out there. So you took this post and you went to your Facebook account on Facebook.
Yes.
And you followed the directions.
Yes.
And Facebook has you in a category.
They have categorized me as very conservative. I do not have what political party I agree with. I do on occasion when I find them, you know, from Google, because what actually is very disturbing about this is I've noticed here, especially in the past couple years, as long as Trump has actually been in office, I am bombarded with Democratic or, you know, very, very left style posts and memes and ideas and friends that are, you know, Democratic or very, very far left. It's like people on my feed that have the same views as me or anything else, I never see their stuff on my feed. And I didn't even think about this until yesterday when I saw this, and I thought how disturbing it is, you know, that since lately, you know, I have occasionally shared Dana Lausch on the NRA and a couple of things like that from the NRA TV, but that Facebook has recognized me as very, very conservative.
Well, it's not the point they've recognized you as very conservative. The point is that they are putting you into a category,
right,
which then that data is trolled by people looking for very conservative minded people to feed information into, to sell to market to use your data somewhere else.
Right. And not only that, but in my personal feed, you know, my daily news feed, try to sway me the opposite direction.
Right. So if you're very conservative in Facebook, right?
Yeah.
If that's what Facebook says.
That's what they say.
Then they know what to send your way to maybe move you.
Right. It's very disturbing.
Darn. Wow. One more time, I promise, I trust everything. But you went to Facebook, and this is on your page that anybody.
Yes.
Are you telling me anybody can go?
This is the directions.
If
and
you're at home, read the directions of what to do.
Yes, I'll leave this on the screen for a minute. So you go to your settings. It's in the, you know, whenever you go on to log in and out, right there's your settings, and then you go to your account settings. And then you have specific ads that Facebook, I didn't even know this, that they will send to you. Hence, you know, that they know I'm very conservative, so they'll send me over Democratic ads. You click on your information, your categories, and then go to U.S. politics. And in the line on U.S. politics, like mine, you will see what they have, you know, deemed you. And mine is very conservative.
And anyone can go do that. And like Amanda is telling you this morning, is what happens now is they now know what to send into your news feed to maybe change your mind. Correct?
Yes.
Wow, that's
yes. And you know, I'd actually gotten this from I wouldn't call it a credible news source. I've never even heard of this, you know, page. But when I did it, you know, it was true. So I was blown aback by this. I couldn't even.
Well, you do know
I'm so
Facebook knows
that Facebook
now.
has labeled me.
Yeah, but you do know Facebook knows now you went to that page.
Yeah. It's even more disturbing.
I want to come back. I want to wrap up one more thing, but I don't want to spin off of this. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back, folks, with the end of our show. Let's talk about walking out of schools, teachers, not the students this time, Kentucky and Oklahoma, before we wrap up. Take us a break.